Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick. This is MSFS Flight Plans, and if you've been around for a while, you know that almost every single one of our flights is just flying around the world looking for the coolest places, most interesting places, and best looking places we can possibly fly over, all in an attempt to save the world from itself. But every now and then we get to do something a little bit of fun, a little bit off the beaten path, and that's what we're going to do today. I just found out that Cli4D Designs has released yet another pack, and man, does that guy work hard. I thought I was putting a lot of hours in. He's banging stuff out every couple of weeks now, and this one's by Lukla, so I just had to check that out, of course. And then I looked in my email, which I check about, for the channel. We have an email address, believe it or not. I'll tell you what that is later if you want to send an email to it, but after this you may not want to, because I check it about once a month. And I realized he sent me, it may have been like an early release version or a beta version several weeks ago, and I just found it. So I threw it in there, took a look at it. It was absolutely awesome, so we're going to fly it together, but I'll tell you a little bit more about how I operate in that sense, just in case someone else ever wants to send me something for free, which of course I always appreciate. But let's go ahead and hop in. Before we do that, let me just show you a little NavMap, because there's going to be a couple of considerations about this trip if you're going to take it. We're just southwest of the airport at Lukla, and I'm sure you guys have probably flown into that before if you've been simming for a while. Here's the helipad. This has been added once I loaded it into the sim, and then I transported all the bookmarks and files and airports and all that stuff into a little NavMap. It'll bring some of this stuff over. So we're just a little bit south and down the hill from where the Lukla airport is. We're going to take off this way, fly along this river right here, because the entire thing has been modded up. And along the way, we're going to hit some of these helipads, and I'll tell you why we're going to do that. So we got one we're taking off from, two there, three, and then a fourth one up here. And if you wanted to go to an airport, there's an in-sim airport that's up here. But this one here is at about 15,000 feet, maybe 14,000. Does that say how high it is? No, we can look down here, though. That's where it is right there. So 13,600 feet. And I mention that because you're going to need a helicopter that can get up there. This is the 530. This one can barely make it up there. The 500E can make it, the 125, and the Chinook, and the H125, which I already just said. So those guys can all make it up here. Anything else, you're probably going to be struggling just a little bit. So let's go ahead and hop in this guy, and then I'll tell you a lot more about this. Let's get my camera adjusted. And I think this thing is ready to go right out of the box. Generator on. I think we can turn the pump off. I'm just going to leave it on since it has it on. I think we'll be cool. Okay, so here we go. And the reason why I like this, and the reason why I think I'd probably fly it a lot more than some of the others, is because it is an incredible challenge. So a flight challenge, a landing challenge for sure, as you're going to see. So if you're working on your helicopter piloting skills, this is a great place to do it. So the first thing we're going to do here is come up just a little bit, and then we got to go back behind us to show you this first waterfall. And I think we're at about, almost 8,000 feet here. And this is the first time I've flown this without the assist on, so this will be fun. I was trying the 500E before, which is a real handful. So the only detractor about, and this has nothing to do with Cli4D, this area is not real great as far as the default scenery. I can understand why I picked it, because this is an amazing valley that has tons of rivers and waterfalls. But we're getting the sim stuff, and I'm afraid 2024 isn't that much better. I was seeing a lot of that too, with the exception of the Grand Canyon, which looks a lot better. So I think it just has something to do with the satellite images and whatever kind of terrain readings they're getting. We just get that all over the place, and I just don't think it's going to get that much better for most of the world in 2024. But Cli4D has done an amazing job with what he had to work with out here. So I went and bought this pack, and here's kind of how that works for me. I want this channel to be completely unbiased. These days you can't ever tell if someone got something for a review, like someone paid him to give it or gave him something free. So here's the deal with that. I always appreciate if someone actually cares about my opinion enough to send me something. Go ahead and send it over if you need a beta tester or something. And if it's good, I'll load it up and I'll say it's good. If it's not, and I'll pay for it with my own money, I'll tell you why I think it could be improved. And if you get it to the point where I'd buy it, I'll buy it and we'll review it. But I'm not going to put anything on the channel I don't think is awesome. I'm not going to buy anything I don't think is awesome. So I told Cliff, it's awesome. I went and bought it, and this is the one that I bought off of Orbix, which, by the way, is the cheapest of the three options. It's about $12.77. And here's what I love about this. So Cliff, with every one of his releases, is getting better and better with this stuff. The waterfalls, as you're going to see as we get closer here, look like they're actually splashing and burbling. Look just to the right of our center divider there. See over there? It's not just streaks running down the side anymore. It actually looks like it's bouncing over the rocks and stuff. You see that? And look at the river down here. It's flowing. Most of the rivers are just static. Now it's flowing and churning. It almost looks like you got some rapids in there. And as we get closer to these rocks, I mean, you can get right on them, and the resolution just gets better and better. So I feel like this has been a huge step forward for all the guys that are making stuff like this. I think Cliff just raised the bar. Look at that. Really, really cool. I'm going to try to get to where that thing is not... These valleys are so narrow. I'm going to try to keep it so the console's not right over the water so we can see a lot of it. We'll see how we do. And I'm not going to mess with the trim on this flight because we're going to be coming up and down so much with our landings and everything. So I just don't want to mess with that. I'll just fly without the trim adjustments. Here's another great looking waterfall, and there's all kinds of little offshoots as tributaries flow into this, and any of them that you find, if you follow them up into the crevasses, he's modeled that stuff up. And really, the lower you get, the better it gets, because you don't see all the stuff out of your field of view that's drooping and stretching. Everything down by the creek looks really good. This is a big waterfall. Look at that. Really fantastic. We're going to have a couple of rope bridges. I counted at least 4 of them. Some modded up buildings. There's quite a few default buildings out here too. And I think when I was looking online, I don't have my notes or anything, I didn't make a big historical review of this one. Look at that. But I think most of the stuff out here is resorts and hotels and lodges and things like that for people that want to hike out here. Look at that. Just gorgeous. We got another flowing river down here. Amazing. Really good. And here's the thing for me about this. I mean, if anyone's going to be a nitpicker about precision, it's going to be me. You guys know that have been around the channel for a while. But with this kind of stuff, I just want to see continual evolution, and we're definitely getting that. Every one of these just seems to get better and better, which is great. That's what we want to see. How good it can get, I don't know. And I'm sure if Cliff wanted to, he could do up all this area so there wouldn't be any bare spots, but then you're probably looking at like a $100 add-on because you'd have to work on it for a year and a half to get it all done. But for $12.77, and wait till you see these helipads. Talk about a landing challenge. I thought that last one out in Liverpool was tough. These are doozies for sure. Okay, we'll pick up the pace here a little bit, see how wild we can get this. And not hit anything. This is a fun little helicopter. Okay, I think around this next bend is where we're going to get the rope bridges. Nope, one more. We got a hairpin up here. So if you saw our LA helicopter precision exercises when we were flying around those streets, that would be a very good way to practice for this kind of stuff. Because flying around streets, you don't have to worry about hitting cliffs, and if you get better with just handling this thing, then you can come over here and start just nailing it around these turns. And this is the perfect helicopter for that kind of thing. I need to not get too fast because we're going to have to slow down up here because I want to show you this other waterfall and the bridge if we can find it. No flowing water down there. But it just adds so much. You can imagine what this would look like without any kind of add-ons. Just a naked, non-flowing creek. And look at those mountains up in the distance over there, drooping like crazy. If anyone knows of an area that has cliffs like this that are not drooping, both for my sake and for Clifford's sake, let us know, because I'm sure if he could find something like this... Alright, I'm going to slow down here, because look at that bridge. See it right there? We'll go take a look at that. I bet if he could find a place that he could make something like this that was not all drooping, I bet he would do it. So if you know of a spot, let us know. Let's just get stabilized. There's the bridge. Let's get closer and take a look. A little bit of popping there. I've never designed anything, so I don't know what causes that or how to avoid it. See the bridge? And right around this corner, there's going to be another little one. And we got another flowing river over there. Looks great. This one is much smaller. We'll have to come up here and see if we can find this little guy. Okay, it's by that blue-roofed building. If you have a really big screen, you'll be able to see it. See if we can get down a little bit more. It's right down there by our pedals. See it down there? Let's come over this way a little bit. Water flowing, burbling, splashing around. There's the bridge. Amazing. Really nice work. Okay, so we'll come over the top of this ridge. And our helipad is going to be up here on the right. Oh, we got some smoke too. See it? Right on the side of our center divider there. Obviously, those are all really default buildings. But again, pound for pound, you got to think about what you're paying for and what you're getting. And I think for this price, I feel like this is a great value, because these are by far the best looking creeks, rivers, and waterfalls I've seen anywhere in the sim. And they're only getting better. How's that one look? And look, you can actually see through the water. That is a big step forward, guys. Really big step forward. So you will at least have some better rivers to work with in 2024, because as I've mentioned a few times, those all do seem to look quite a bit better. They don't have those very jagged lines on the side of them, none that I've seen anyway. The watercolors look better, all the banks look a lot better, so it'll be fun to see what guys like Cliff can do with that kind of stuff. Okay, see where that smoke is right there above our glare shield? The helipad is going to be on a cliff, hanging right off the front of that building. So we'll see if we can get this thing down over there. And I just noticed, look at those little things hanging off that ring there. They lean when we lean the helicopter on the left side of the glare shield. Nice touch. Good job, Shrike. Okay, I'm going to come over these trees. I got to stay low. And then there's the helipad right there, right through that, underneath that little bar and that little tiny panel window right there. So we'll come over here to where we can face it. And then try to get her down. But I got to keep it in view. All right, let's think about this. Oh, we got another bridge there too. Okay, so we'll come up here some more, and then I'll turn towards it. Oh, gosh. All right, hands are officially sweating. What a beautiful area. All right, I think I know where my thumbnail is going to come from. So we got some trees over there to the right. That's going to be a problem. We need to just be mindful of that. Look at that thing. Buildings right in front of it. This is really the only safe way to come down here. You wouldn't want to come down over those buildings, or you would wind up striking your tail. Let's see if we can get her down. Look how detailed the little rocks in that rock wall are. Okay, concentrate. For a little more. Oh, gosh. Okay. What a landing challenge. What a landing challenge. A little bit more. Okay, how do we do? Nope, we're in the circle. That means we get 3 points. Okay. Alright, so we just got that tree right over there, so I'm going to come up to the left. Try to come up pretty quickly. And try not to swing the tail over in the direction of that thing. Okay, let me catch my breath. Okay, I haven't breathed for about a minute or two. Okay, up we go. Up we go. Alright, we made it. Okay. Whew. Look at that. Oh, just gorgeous. That is really cool. Love it. This next one is like right up here on the left, so we don't have very far to go, but we'll get a nice little rapid to look at here. Boy, would you love to come up here in real life or what? My stepmom has been up here several times. All the way up to the Everest base camp. She didn't take a go at Everest, but she went up to the base camp a couple times. And she's been all through this area. She's flown into Lukla. Said that was as harrowing as you can imagine. Okay, so this next one is going to be around this next bend, and we're going to have another one hanging off a cliff, but it's going to be on the left side this time. And there's going to be rocks all around it and trees, and then we got to go to the top of that mountain right there in front of us for the last one. Is it this one here? No, it's around the corner. That one looks pretty good. Look at that. With a little retaining wall on it. That one's probably modded up because they got tables and everything there. And I don't know if you noticed, but they got animated people walking around up here. So if you can barely see that red roof kind of peeking out there, that's where it is. And it's going to be hanging off this cliff. Now when we get, there's going to be another little waterfall here to the right. Look how close we are to these rocks, and they still look really nice. Where's that waterfall? There it is. There it is. This one's tough. This one's really tough. Oh, don't hit those rocks. Okay, here we go. And if you haven't seen our LA flight, a little tip for you guys, if you have trouble with death gripping the cyclic, I keep my pinky tucked behind it, so if I squeeze too hard, I crush my pinky. That seems to help. Okay, so let's think about this one here. This is going to be the best way to come in, I think. We're probably getting real close to that wall behind us. I haven't blinked in 5 minutes. Okay. There's a guy walking around, see him? Now this is tough because you got another shrub right behind us there. We got a guy vectoring us in there. I gotta get a little bit higher because I gotta clear that shrub, which is behind our console right now. What a landing challenge, huh? This is cool. This is the kind of stuff I want to be flying my helicopters into. Alright, okay. Can I get another three-pointer? Oh, I think we're gonna do it. Yep, I think we got it. Nailed it. Nice. Okay. Okay. Last one. We're going to go climbing up this hill and get there as fast as we can. And the last one doesn't have a designated helipad area that I could find, but it is marked on a little NavMap. Of course, I'll include this flight plan in there so you can find everything really easily. And I did add larger heliport markers on there. The ones that are included if you import it from the sim are really, really small and you won't be able to see them. I'll show you that one more time once we're done. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to come up and I guess come off that way, and then I will yaw to our left to come back around because I'm concerned about those trees over to our right. That's the plan. Alright, here we go. There we go. Alright. Alright, yep, okay. And we'll get another nice look at that waterfall. Let's go check that thing out. That is amazing. Really nice. Love this. And this is what's great. I mean, our modder community, God bless you guys. You breathe so much life into the sim. This kind of stuff makes my world go round. So up there to the left, we got a little offshoot that's modeled up in there, and if we keep following this thing straight, which we're not going to do because we're going up that mountain. Oh, another bridge too. Look at that. That goes way up there. I didn't follow all the little tributaries and everything. I don't know how far this stuff really goes. And I'm kind of curious, we won't fly up there now, but there's a really neat-looking airport where I've got this flight plan drawn to. There's like a big carved-out basin where they put another big lodge up there called the Yeti Home. And this one's also called the Yeti Home. I checked out their website. They got 6 lodges in this valley. So this one's called the Yeti Home, and then the one we'll actually be able to see it when we're coming down over there. Well, you'll see it once we get up there. It's probably pretty neat-looking in the sim, I would bet. So this is the one that's getting up to around 14,000 feet. You're probably not going to make it if you're taking your R-22 or pretty much anything else that is not a high-altitude helicopter. I think the 22 caps out around 12,000 feet, maybe. I think the 44, though, does go to 14,000, but that would be cutting it real close for this one. So what we'll do when we get up here is I'll circle around it to the east, just so you can take a look at the modded up area. They got some more people and picnic tables and stuff. And then we'll come around to where I'm pretty sure the helicopter landing area is for this. It's kind of darker gray looking. So this is interesting. I've got almost full left anti-torque pedal, and if I take it off, watch what's going to happen. I don't know if we're getting a downdraft from this mountain or what. I guess I could try leaning over this way some. No, it just didn't want to come, so I'm going to have to keep that pedal on. That's fine. And look at the pedals on the right. They're like a foot farther ahead than the ones on the left are. That's weird, isn't it? Chet's got really long legs if he was here. He'd want them stretched out like that. You won't miss this once you get up here. You'll see the buildings start to come into view as soon as we get over this peak. And we're climbing at 2,000 feet a minute, even though it doesn't feel like it. How's our manifold pressure? We got about 5 inches left before we get into the danger zone. Ooh, I'm going to have to bring that down some. We're creeping awfully close, but we're almost there. We'll be able to see... Well, it's behind our little pillar there right now. Let's see if we can spot that other airport. That's it right there. See that long strip? And then there's that big basin with all this stuff in it, right down there at the bottom of it. See that? Although those buildings look flat from here. Well, a lot of them look pretty flat. But I bet that's a cool airport to come into. I've never flown in there. Alright, so... Let's see where we can see everything. Okay. I can't point to anything because I have both hands on the controls. So that gray area to the left of the buildings there, it looks like a grayish square. I'm pretty sure that's where the helipad's supposed to be, although it's not marked as one. That's where the mark in the map was. Let's see what we got down here. If anyone's walking around. Boy, what a view from up here, though, huh? We got our picnic tables. You might even need a little oxygen up here. I know I would. I have a migraine and be thrown up everywhere. I think we got some people. Yep, there's a guy walking around there. He's stuttering a little bit, but that's alright. Yep. Okay, let's see if I can go 3 for 3 with our landings. Too bad there's not a circle up here. I'm just going to give myself 3 points no matter how we do. And look at that, they got an altar or something up there. Alright. Oh, we're coming down too fast. Too fast. I'm going to try to get in that gray air over there. It does feel like up in this thinner air, the response to the collective is just a little bit more sluggish. We're down. Yeah, 3 points again. Great. Yeah, there's nothing on the ground here. But I think this is the area. Okay, so I'm just going to... I don't remember the shut-off procedure for this, so I'm going to just cut the throttle and then pull the fuel. Whoop. Well, I can't. Alright, we'll just pull the fuel then. Alright, that'll do it. Okay, so let me just show you this real quick. And if you guys don't know how to bring your... Hold on. Let's just cut. There we go. If you guys don't know how to bring your airports that you have modded up into Little NavMap, if you're using Little NavMap, just go up here to Scenery Library, load Scenery Library. It'll already be set. It should be for Microsoft Flight Simulator. If not, click that drop down, just hit load. It'll take about 5 minutes to do it. Just follow the prompts, and it'll bring most of your airports in here. So for this one, if you bring it in, let me get rid of that trail real quick. See that little H right there? As you go further out, it disappears to the point where you can't see it. So if you load up this bookmark file, which I'll put in the video description, that'll bring the larger H's in there, because you're going to need some help finding these things. They're kind of tough. You'll zip right past them without even knowing it. And that's it. It's only, well, how far was that? Let's take a look real quick. 8 miles? Perfect for a little helicopter route, and you better believe as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to zip through here as fast as I possibly can. There was also a really nice-looking add-on available for this airport that I may get, because I love flying in there. I know I don't get a lot of airports, but it looked pretty cool. So my only request for this one, guys, again, if you know of a spot anywhere in the world, and I'm sure one of you guys does, where we have nice-looking cliffs that are very narrow like this, that don't have drooping, let me know, and I'll let Cliff know, because I bet he would love to know about that. This bookmark, by the way, is for where that little bridge is, because you'll miss that too. You'll zip past that. But you want to come up there and check that out. And then the other one is right on the other side of it, right over here. That thing. Oh, they even have one in the sim. So that's that, guys. Had an absolute blast. Hope you check it out. Great job, Cliff. Loved it. I can't really say that I learned anything on this trip, other than the fact that I'm obviously a great helicopter pilot. I just got lucky. See you guys later.